Hi guys, welcome to our channel, Weaver's Edge. I'm in the middle right now of planning mine of Lake's next vacation in August. I really enjoy planning and organizing these types of trips, and I feel like it's something that I know a lot of people dread doing, and people have even made comments like, oh, I just need you to plan my trips for me. I wanted to create this video with you guys and just share my thought process of what I go through whenever I'm planning a vacation. You know, Blake and I went to Canada last year, and when we went to Canada, we had everything perfectly organized and planned just enough. You know, we still planned in time to not plan anything, where we could just explore, be spontaneous. If we see something we want to do it. So when I say plan and organize, it's really just structuring the key components when it comes to going on a vacation. So I know it can get overwhelming. You have to book a hotel, flights, and car rentals, and then plan what you have to do. So first thing first, just start with booking the flight. So booking the flight first is great for a couple of different reasons. The first reason is you have your set in stone times and days that you're going to be traveling. So you guys know with car rentals, they ask for a pickup time. So you kind of want to have, you know, set in stone first before going to the other steps. So first thing first, book the flight. I use Expedia. I like Expedia because it gives you tons of different carrier options, and I feel like they just are a trustworthy, known platform to use. One thing I learned was that they have things that they consider add-ons. So if you want to select your seat, for example, that's going to cost more. And I don't know about you guys, but if I'm traveling with my husband, I want to sit next to him on the plane. So go through the filters first and select those non-negotiables, you know. So we're gonna want a carry-on. We're gonna select the button that filters out carry-ons. That way, when you're looking at comparing cost with the flight times, you have like real cost of the flight. Things add up, and you end up spending more if you don't do that at the beginning. So do that at the beginning if you're using Expedia. You know, when I'm looking at timeline, so when are you going to book your trips, right? Do you book it 6 months in advance? The week before? You know, what's ideal? Something that me and Blake, that's worked for us, has been to book the flight 2 months prior to your trip. It doesn't have to be exact, but just general. The reason is, if you guys are anything like Blake and I, we have changed our travel destination so many times. Okay, are we feeling like going to the ocean? Are we feeling like going to a mountain? A little bit of both. Like, it just, I feel like 2 months you're really gonna know what you're wanting to go. Another thing good about that too is I feel like it's a sweet spot for pricing. So if you book it, you know, too far in advance, I feel like prices just get lower as they're working on capacity. But I feel like at 2 months, the capacity is like perfect to be able to book and not spend an arm and a leg. But also, I don't want to gamble on my flights, so I'm not waiting a week before to see if they have enough room for 2 more people, you know. And gambling, I don't want to gamble, so I feel like 2 months is like a sweet spot for when to book your flights. The next thing you're going to want to do is car rental. So first thing, book flights. Second thing, book your car rental. If you are planning on renting a car, especially from the airport, which I know a lot of people do for convenience factors, that you want to make sure that you have your car reserved. A lot of times it doesn't even cost you to reserve your car in advance. Yes, you can save money if you put some money down, which is great, but it's not necessary. So booking your car reservation in advance just secures the days and times that you're gonna want it for. And one thing to keep in mind too is if you are going to book a vehicle and then maybe cross it over the border, you're gonna wanna let your car rental service or carrier know in advance. The main reason is sometimes there are restrictions. So I know there's a lot more restrictions when you're crossing in Mexico, for example, but for Canada, I do know they have certain restrictions when it comes to the type of vehicle. So if you have like a big old van, that's probably gonna be a little bit trickier. So just talk to your carrier if you're planning on doing that, so they can make sure that you've got the proper insurance to be able to cross, and you're not going to run into any restrictions that are going to prevent you from being able to explore where you want to explore. After you have the flights booked, your car rental booked, next is the most exciting part, and it is going to be looking at your activities. So you want to plan your activities and adventures during this time first before you book the hotel. Not in every case, but in most cases. The reason being is whenever you're planning adventures and activities, for us, that's what our entire vacation is about, is where can we go explore? What adventures can we indulge on? Just the activity portion is what we're going for. So you want to do that before you do the hotel, because that may change where you want to book your hotel. So for example, let's say you are going on a trip and it's non-negotiable. You want to go to this national park and spend a couple, days exploring, but let's say you also want to do like a whitewater rafting experience. Well, if both those activities are on complete opposite sides, like I'm talking a couple hours drive in between, that may change where you stay for your hotel. You may then decide, hey, maybe we'll just find a hotel in the center, so it's only like an hour drive each way. Or maybe you decide after that that you want to split up your hotel. Like you want to spend a hotel closer to where you're going to be whitewater rafting for a couple days, or where you're going to be visiting the national parks. You can split it up that way as well. I'd say that the only pro and con to consider is if you're going for over 5 days staying somewhere, a lot of times hotels will give you discounts for staying at one hotel for an extended period of time. I know Airbnbs do the same thing. If you stay with them a certain amount of days, they knock off the price. So there could be some price saving opportunities if you do stick with one hotel. Other than that, just whatever makes the most sense for you. So you book the flight first, then you book the car rental, then you look at your activities, adventures, and then you book the hotel. So that is how I structure our vacations and our trips, so that way when we get there we can have the most enjoyable time. We don't have to stress about the details, because it's all planned in advance. It's all taken care of. All you have to do is show up, get in the car, drive to the hotel and go from there. So I hope this video was helpful. It's definitely something I love to do, enjoy doing. If you have any tips or tricks that maybe I didn't mention, leave it in the comment below. I'm just intrigued to hear kind of what everyone else does. Oh, one thing I was gonna add too is I know I've talked about the trip Blake and I took to Canada last year, and it was literally such an incredible trip. I don't think I've ever been on a vacation where it just was so relaxing, but yet we were doing so much. If you guys want that 5-day itinerary, I actually will put a link below for that. I created a 5-day itinerary that goes over exactly what we did, where we decided to go horseback riding through, like what company, same with whitewater rafting. And I also put on there directions and websites to the place we stayed, places that we ate, and highly recommend, and just everything in between. So if you guys are interested in that, I will post the link below. Other than that, I will see you guys later. And if you want any other videos from me about organizing or planning travel, just let me know. Okay. Shade for a little bit of sunshine, hit me with the